So traders, let's actually get ready for another amazing week of trading. Last week was amazing for me. I had 3 trades, 100% success rate for me last week. So it's an incredible trading week for me. So I'm excited to move forward this week. Give you guys a bit of an update across the markets right now. There could be a bit of a bloodbath actually happening this week. And also, I want to share with you what's happening with obviously gold, silver, and also there is one country that's not the United States that I think is going to best weather this recession that's coming. And not only probably best weather it, but probably going to be one of the most, probably a really good place to invest in, and one country that I think is going to do really well. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, make sure you grab that free trading course. Traders, by the way guys, in that free trading course, I teach you my #1 trading system, and also within that trading system, I teach you the #1 pattern to look out for. The #1 chart pattern to look out for that I trade in a bear market that can do just amazing results for you. Okay, so as this market's pulling back right now, like last week, two out of my 3 trades that I had last week were both bearish. Okay, so and I share with you all the details to that system. So if you're looking for a really high quality chart pattern or chart setup, or an actual trading setup to trade when the market's going down, which you can make a lot more money when it goes down because it goes quicker, then make sure you obviously grab access to that free trading course, and then also check out that trading system. Again, it's all for free. You can go get access to for free for there. So let's go have a look at the actual stock market. Then I'm going to get to that one country that I believe is the one place, or one country that I believe is going to weather this storm the best here. So let's have a look at the Dow Jones first. Let's start off here. So looking at the Dow Jones, we can see that what's actually happening with the Dow Jones right now is happening, and this is exactly what I've been talking about this exact whole time. I got a lot of flack for it because I originally thought that we'd actually probably have a bit more of an actual drop earlier, because I was actually saying we're probably going to see a movement through here as this market started flattening out. I'm like, we're going to get a drop, and I thought, okay, I thought this point here was the drop. But it came back out, gave you another head fake, and then now we're actually getting the drop out of the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones is the outlier of all this here. It's really interesting to see the Dow Jones, because if I go back to if I bring up my weekly charts here and I draw a trend line from there to there, right, we can see how the Dow Jones is indeed above this trend line. So the Dow Jones could indeed find support right here. So it looks like we've got a bit more downside to come, which does make sense because we have this double top projection, this double top that actually, there's top here, top there. That double top projection is roughly around that 32,000 level to complete that. So we're probably gonna have a bit more downside initially coming into the markets here. And look at that volume. All right, look at that volume coming into it, right? So we're probably going to get that as well too, because the other markets have that as well too. I mean, the S&P 500, they have the double top. So we're probably going to get a bit more downside. But the big question is, what actually happens through here? What comes through here after that? Do we get the bounce and then we start to see a big move, and then we start to see a move up to the upside? That'd be really interesting to see. Because the really interesting, that's actually what's happening with the Dow Jones. But if I go look at the S&P 500, and I bring up my weekly charts, look what the weekly charts are doing, right? It hit resistance there, resistance, and then obviously through the resistance through there as well too. Oh, by the way, guys, if you are trading the markets, don't listen to my YouTube videos while you're doing something, okay? Because it's all about visuals, okay? What is the chart pattern telling you? You can't get that from listening to something. So stop what you're doing, spend a bit of time, watch the video, then go back to doing what you're doing, okay? If you actually want to get good at this, you got to get really good. If you want to get good at trading, you got to get good at pattern recognition. You can't get pattern recognition from feeding the cat while you're listening to my YouTube video. You can if you want to, but I don't think my voice is that interesting. Right? You guys have come for the actual the techniques. So anyway, so we've actually broke up through here on the S&P 500, and we're rolling over, and now we're actually dropping. So the S&P is clearly in another big downward trend, and now we have just gotten a lower close compared to all the other previous weeks through here, right? So look at all that through there. So that tells me after breaking out of that through there, that tells me now that looks like we're going to have a more downside to come out of the S&P 500 there. So we're getting a really, really, really nice breakdown from there. So I expect more downside to come out of the S&P, because just like the Dow Jones, we do have that double top formation here, right? So we have this one top, two top, and then we have this double top formation through here. And that double top formation projection, the completed of that, meaning where it's likely to go, is roughly around that 3,700, possibly even down, yeah, around that 3,700 to 3,750. For you guys that like to use the numbers there, right? And then let's actually go look at the Nasdaq, right? Nasdaq, once again, Nasdaq is the weakest one of the whole lot of. Like, we're definitely getting a mixed bag through here, right? The Dow Jones is actually looking quite strong while having this pullback. The S&P had a nice pullback, but then we're still in this bear market, where the Nasdaq is just like getting ready to me. Nasdaq is getting ready to have a really, really, really big move. Now, this is really exciting, guys, okay? This is really, really, really exciting, because the Nasdaq, once it breaks this sort of 10,000 level, we're probably going to have a really big movement on the downside. Look at this here. There's nothing stopping it right here, guys. Nothing stopping it. This is called the big short. Not right now, or not ever, right? Never, ever, ever, ever. Right, this is called the big short. So it may, and the thing is, guys, is the thing is, you just never know, right? This could hold here and then go straight up like that. I have to cover my backside when I say that, because some of you bumblebees are going, "Oh my goodness, he said it's the big short. Let's go short right now." No, all right. Be smart about your trading, okay, guys? Be smart. Anyway, don't be part of the 90-90-90, okay? The 90-90-90 rule is 90% of you guys are watching the video right now are going to blow up 90% of your trading account in 90 days. I was part of the 90-90 times 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 90-90-90. I repeated the same thing for 5 years, and then I finally got it. So it took me 5 years, guys. It took me 5 years to actually start to get it. It's just like, why am I losing money all the time? Now, the flip side is like, I'm doing really well. I've been trading the markets now for almost 19 years myself. So, trading the markets now, I've learned a lot of things of what to do and what not to do. And in that free trading course, link in the description, another plug for the free trading course. The very first video is the biggest mistakes. About a half an hour video walking through the biggest mistakes that I made, and also probably you're making right now, and also how to overcome them. So the Nasdaq is still looking really, really weak, and we're seeing that we did get a breakdown through here. So Nasdaq's probably going to have a move to the downside now towards the new low. So we actually could see a bit of a bloodbath happening this week in the markets there. If the Dow Jones is not the leader right now, but the S&P and the Nasdaq are giving us a bit of a sign, then that could spell like a bit of a bloodbath happening this week in the markets through there. Let's go have a look at silver and gold. So gold is actually looking quite nice as well too. So gold is definitely the big thing that I'm seeing with gold. Oh, sorry, no, this is silver. Sorry, my bad. Silver. The big thing I'm seeing with silver is we're definitely compressing up through there, and then we can see we had this compression, and now we're actually breaking up through here. But look what's happening now. We're really starting to squeeze up into some sort of a pattern through here, right? Resistance, and also you can see it actually hit the resistance here. Now we're backing up as well too. So we're squeezing up into a pattern. This actually could be a very strong breakout with silver. We may have just found the low in silver. It actually could be one of those things, right? So this low point through here could be that low in silver, and now we're starting an upward trend through here. We definitely broke past this level through here, which gave us support and then broke up. Now we're squeezing up. We could be getting ready for a big move out of silver, because especially if it starts to break up through here, could be quite nice through there. Also looking at the gold market. Gold is definitely hovering around this level of resistance where we are right now. As you can see, we hit this sort of the last sort of maybe 6 months or so, that sort of 1,800 has definitely been a strong area of resistance. We're slowly going up, and now we're just going sideways through here. So To me, it looks like gold is probably want to have a bit of a pullback through here. But if it doesn't pull back and we break above 1,800, then we're probably going to race to all-time new highs through here. Now, the big picture here is this: is that one thing that you guys are probably been watching me and seeing me call is when the market broke down here. And let me go back to the daily charts on gold. When the market broke down here, I'm like, this actually could be a false breakout. And then we broke out, and then we got the false breakout. So this bottom, this point through here, so this point all through here is that sort of false breakout, right? So I call it a false breakout because it broke out of the actual support level or broke down, but didn't follow through. Then it came reversed. So now we're actually through here. So now we're actually moving up to the upside. So the big pattern here, again, I'll go back to the weekly chart to make it much simpler. The big pattern is that generally speaking, whenever we get something like this, like a breaking past a major support level, and then we get back into it, there's a high probability we're going to get to the other side of the channel. It's a pattern that actually you see that forms time and time again. So so that's actually a very bullish pattern. Now, how it gets there, we may get a bit of a pullback here on the weekly chart, and then we go, or we may just be getting ready to have a really big move out of gold through there. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys, when it comes to that. Let's go have a look at the mining sector. So let's have a look at the GDX. And the GDX on the weekly chart, this is the big weekly chart here, guys, once again. So make sure you keep an eye on your weekly charts. Is that the big weekly charts that I'm seeing through here? Support, support, support. Look at this here. So this is actually, again, another false breakout on the mining sector. Now, false breakouts, when I say that, it's more like it can happen on support where the market finds support, support, support. And then when it breaks, we should expect when it breaks a big major support level, we should then expect more downside, right? But if it doesn't, and then it does that, guess what? You know that was a false breakout, and then generally we get something like that. This is actually a very powerful pattern, especially if we've had a move up, like that, and you get something like that. It's generally a bit of a false breakout against the overall trend, and then they suck you in, and then the market breaks out. Or we could have the market coming down like this, support, 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 and then it breaks down, does nothing, and gets back in, and then it generally is going to get to the other side of the channel through there. So we're getting this. This is scenario number B. We're actually getting that right now. You can see we're getting this support level through here. We've got the broken below there. Now we're getting back above again. Do we actually get a bit of a pullback through here and then move, or is this the start of the move up? Because we have a high probability of actually getting to the other side of the channel on the GDX through there. Moving over now through to the GDXJ, and we're getting a very similar thing that's happening right now when it comes to the GDXJ. We're getting this pretty much like a bit of a false move on the downside, right? You can see this overall level came down through here. Now we actually broke back up. So once again, what's going to happen through here? Do we actually have a bit of a pullback first, and then we continue running up, or is this going to be a slow move back up towards the other side of the channel through there? So that's what I'm looking at when it comes to the overall markets on the mining sector. Mining sector and the metals are looking quite bullish, strong. Even if we do get a bit of a pullback, I believe we're going to start to see a big move to a continuation move to the upside on those. The actual stock market itself, again, we're getting a very, very, very conflicting signal through there as well too. So let's go have a look at. So I want to share with you right now. I want to share with you the one country that I believe is going to do the best out of everything, and that is Australia. That's right, my country. Why did I just do that for? I was speaking good English, and then as soon as I said Australia, I started talking in some other language. That's right, it's my country, Australia. That's right. That's weird. Anyway, so the thing about Australia is that we are a very mining sector base, right? So whenever we're going through a mining boom, and whenever mining is doing really well, Australia, because we're very mining based, so we tend to do really, really well. And we are going to go through another mining boom. Just don't know when. It could be next year. It could be 2026, right? We are going to go through another mining boom in our lifetime. Do you realize that, guys, right? It's like, that's why, to me, I believe it's a slam dunk when it comes to the mining sector. And that's why I'm very heavily invested into the mining sector myself. But long term, right? I'm in it. And then now my job is, when it comes to the mining sector, is just to be patient. That's why you guys who've been following me for quite some time know that I'm heavily invested in the mining sector. And now I'm just waiting. It could be this year, it could be next year. It could be 2025, 26. Hey, it could be 2027 that we actually eventually start to go through that next mining boom. Either way, when it happens, I'm going to make a lot of money. So it's not a matter of if I'm going to make a lot of money. It's a matter of when. But from now to then, hey, on the mining sector, we could have another big 20-30% drop in the mining sector. I don't care, because when the mining boom does come, and we are going to go through another mining boom in our lifetimes, I'm going to make a lot of money. So those who are positioned and patient, meaning you might have to wait 3-4 years, maybe even longer than that, for the next mining boom, right? But when it does come, lots of money will be made. So for me, it's not a matter of if I'm going to make a lot of money, it's a matter of when. And now I'm positioned, and now my job is not to be influenced by the short-term movement. Even if we do get a bit of a drop to the downside, we get more drop to the downside, I'll be adding more if that does happen. But my job is just to be in it, so when it does happen, I'm part of the mania that happens, and then I can do really well from that. And so on the back of that, I believe Australia is going to do the best out of a lot of countries, or actually not all countries, because I haven't looked at places like India and stuff like that. But I know there's going to be a lot of other countries out there that do really well. But the one market that I'm really focusing on, which I don't talk about much on my YouTube channel, which is the Australian market. This is the Australian market through here. If I look at the weekly charts, look at the Australian market. The Australian market's actually not that far from its all-time highs. So it's actually been quite resilient, quite strong compared to all these other markets through there. And as you can see, so we had obviously the COVID crash through here, right? So the big COVID crash. Look at that there. Wow, false breakout. So we had the COVID crash, and then we had the move, and then now we've just been going through this overall sideways movement through here. So we're not really getting any very big sharp drops out of the markets through here, but we're just hovering around here, very, very volatile. So that tells me now that we're probably getting ready to see to see the overall movement on the Australian market move to the upside, and we're getting a very, very, very strong base through here. So what I mean by that on the Australian market is low double bottom, and then we've actually broke this double bottom through here, and we've actually had a very strong move to the upside, and now we're getting a pullback. So we're probably going to get a pullback, and then we're going to see another move to the upside. So we may even be racing to new highs in the Australian market, where the US market might be seeing new lows. And generally the Australian market, really, that they say US sneezes, Australian catch a cold. No, if you take your vitamin C, you're not. Right? So we see that through there, and then we can see and then we're generally going to see a nice move up. So the Australian market is actually looking quite nice to invest in, for moving to the upside. I'm not invested in the Australian market, guys, right now. My main focus is the metals and the mining sector. But doing my analysis on here, I'm going to start to keep an eye on the Australian market, because I believe there could be some really good, even trading opportunities on the Australian market. So I'm going to start to keep a good close eye on some of the stocks and so on and so forth, because there could be some really good money to be made from there. Let's go have a look at, and then let's actually finish off now with the good old Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies all through here. So Bitcoin right now, guys, is definitely looking weak right now. We're definitely on a really, really terror to the downside, right? So we have a high, a lower high, a lower high, and look how weak this is, right? This is so weak. And I always talk about this, but it's so important. And as you can see, guys, right, I don't have anything on the screen. It's just the charts. If you probably right now have probably 1,000 different things on your charts, right? 3-4 different moving averages, 3-4 different indicators. You don't need any of that bullshit, guys, right? Really, you don't. You're doing yourself a dissatisfaction, right? We need to focus on what the market's telling us. All that stuff and trust me, I used to trade like that, right? I used to trade with all these indicators. All that stuff is a derivative from the main thing, which is the chart, right? All these indicators is a mathematical calculation, a derivative from the actual chart. So doesn't it make sense if we can actually remove that and get good at reading the charts? And an example of that is that if we have a move like this on the upside, that's, you can see it's a very strong, right? The buyers are pretty dominant through here. Bam, 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 right? Like through there. But then what happens is that if that's very, very strong, what happens if the market does this? So what if the buying link does this? See how it's much, if this is strong to the upside, now this is weak. See what I'm saying there? Now, what does it actually mean? If we get this, especially off the back of something like this, right, when the market comes down and then we get something like that, it's saying that we've got these strong sellers through here, weak buyers, and what tends to happen a lot of the times is when we get that, the buyers run out of steam, the sellers take control, and we tend to see another move to the downside. So it's just patterns, right? Patterns of the actual market itself, not indicators. And so when I'm using this analysis, you can see the exact same thing happen here, right? We had a move down, it struggled through here, and then we had another move down, right? Here, we're struggling through here, we're probably going to have another move down. It's very, very, very simple concept when you start to understand it. But see how there's no confusion, right? Because if you've got all these indicators, one says buy, one says sell, one says we're above the 200, one says we're below the 20, the other one says we're above the 100 moving average. It's like, oh my goodness, do your head in, right? It doesn't need to be complicated. Again, guys, in that free trading course and link in the description, you will see my trading system. You'll see how I use just one moving average and the chart, and my success rate is over 90%. My success rate is over 90%. In fact, this year it's gotten close to a 95% success rate. How is that possible? Again, go check out the system. I'll give it to you for free. Let's go have let's go have a look at also Ethereum as well too. I think Ethereum is really squeezing up into something really, really, really big here. So Ethereum could be getting ready for a really big move on the downside. Once we break this level through here, which is around that sort of, I have to say around that 1,000 level, then Ethereum could make its way back down to around about the 250, maybe even the 300 level. Now, here's the thing, guys, right? Here's the thing, though. After we get this capitulation in the markets, then I am going to be a long-term buyer of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, right? Now, right now, I'm not, no, because we need more of a washing away effect, right? We haven't got the capitulation, and we haven't got there yet, okay? I believe we have one more big leg down in the crypto market, and then that's going to be a long-term buying opportunity for me. So right now, that's the reason why I'm a very big believer in the metals, and especially the mining sector, the gold mining sector. Now, not all mining stocks, guys. I'm not saying all mining stocks. You know, you need to do your analysis, because obviously there's nothing is guaranteed, right? So I'm talking a general broader view here. I'm talking the overall indexes, right, for GDX, GDXJ, stuff like that, right? They already had their boom and bust a decade ago, and they've done nothing for the last 10 years. So guess what's coming the next 10 years? We're going to go through another boom and bust. And then when we go through the boom in the mining sector, we talked about this before in the video, right? So looking at the cryptocurrencies, that's one thing that people don't understand, is that this is going to be the buying opportunity of a lifetime. Those who make a lot of money out of investing, not trading. Trading is pattern recognition, checking the patterns. Investing is buying, hold long term. Those who make a lot of money buying, investing, they see where things are heading for the next 10, 20 years, and then they position themselves for that.